of Hispanic Heritage Month, and we have we're kicking off the month. This month is going to be really awesome. But for today's show, we have Chris Varela and Jose Moreno, who have brought in Delfino Pavon, who is a Houstonian from way back when, and they're going to talk about the 100-year anniversary of Magnolia Park.
Because the rest of the country, or the rest of the city, and the rest of the world, we're talking about the 100th year anniversary of the 1910 Mexican Revolution. Let's not overlook the local consequences of that. So Magnolia, 100 years.
Right, and
a century.
That's a long time.
That's amazing. And guess what? That's going to be overlooked by the major powers that be unless we get involved now. And that's got to be part of the whole issue. It's wonderful that these international entities celebrate. We cannot forget la gente, especially la gente de Houston. You get some of that today. And in the studio joining us are scholars, activists, gente. We have Chris. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
We're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Magnolia.
Actually, it's older than that. 100 years, meaning that it was developed like a residential community in 1909. But before 1909, it was a park. It was an excursion park that was developed by a man named John Thomas Brady. And he made a big sprawling area, called it Magnolia Park because of the trees. They planted like over 1,000 trees there, magnolia trees. Then in 1909, his estate sold it to some developers.
And made it formally that which is known.
Right.
That's fantastic. Well, we're going to tap into that history. También, Jose, good to see you again.
How you doing?
Last time we chatted, we were doing our civic duty for jury duty.
Jury duty. There you go. Yeah, jury duty.
So, we are all American patriots. Y también en el estudio con nosotros el señor Pavón, Delfino Pavón. Mucho gusto recibirlo. Gracias.
Gracias.
Por asistirnos esta noche. And in a little bit, you'll be singing your song, Magnolia. ¿Que usted escribió?
Yo la escribí para el barrio de Magnolia porque lo considero como si hubiera nacido allí.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But so people don't know Magnolia is 100 years old, do they?
Not really. And that's why when me and Chris got together, we decided to say, hey, because I used to be the civic president, the interim president for a while, and a lot of people tell me, hey, 100 years are coming up. That's like, so. Lady at the park, Desavala, she came and told me, hey, she introduced me to Chris. And one time I met with Chris, and there was Robert Galan from the community centers. And we talked, and we said, hey, let's do something special for this neighborhood. So we got together, and we started to research and just do everything. And like I told Chris, this wasn't going to happen unless the community got together. And that's what's happening now. The community is coming together, and everything is falling in place.
Well, what's thrilling is what it takes is, the community's got to be there for one.
Exactly.
And then two, you've got to put this, I don't want to call it intellectual, but it's just an intellectual endeavor to do the research. Lucky you're with the city because you could figure out how to navigate that system.
Well, Chris is for the city. I'm basically like a civic leader in the neighborhood, you could say. But Chris is the one.
But it still takes going through the channels.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without Jose, and frankly, I don't know if I would have done it with anybody else but him.
So give us your guys' background,
Okay,
just so that we can get the context.
I was born in Magnolia.
People are thinking, we have so many community members that are out there, and we exist, luchamos, but we don't have this next layer to give it that. You've got credibility when here's the marker, here's the history. What's your background that you were able to articulate that?
Well, I was born in Magnolia back in 1964. I come from a large family, and when I did some research on my dad's side, I find out that I was able to trace them back as far as 1916 in Magnolia.
Wow!
So they were like one of the founding Mexican American families there. Yeah, that was really wonderful to find that out. I discovered. And I became a member of the Harris County Historical Commission about 9 years ago.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, we're the group. We're kind of an arm of the Texas Historical Commission from the state, and we're the group that we field these applications for these markers. We mentor private efforts to get these markers, and we we just kind of, gear or guide people.
But that's heavy duty. If you don't do this, this is not archived statewide.
Exactly.
Right,
That's
right.
a fact.
Right. So, because I was a member of the Harris County Historical Commission, I came across that, of course, Magnolia was going to be 100 years old. So I said, well, it'd be nice if I could give back to my old neighborhood and work on this. And so I hooked up with Jose Moreno about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2.5, something like that.
Yeah, we've been doing this for about 2 years. We've been having meetings, and we had to raise money for these markers. And this is where we're at now.
That's heavy duty. And in a little bit we should read this as well as the poem, but this is all news to me. What's fascinating.
And that's what happens a lot. I mean, we don't have that much history out there for the Hispanic community. Chris and I mean, we found out that the Lorenzo de Zavala marker, it was knocked down over there where...
Yeah, that's another... We're on that same day, on October 6th, we're unveiling 2 markers. We're unveiling one for Lorenzo de Zavala. Now, anybody who doesn't know him, he was the first vice president for the Republic of Texas.
Heavy duty.
And he was one of the signers of the Texas Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
So, about 40 years ago, there was a marker put for him in the area of Channelview. That's where he had his home.
Wow.
And a little over 10 years ago, that marker got damaged. Do you have a picture of that?
You have one.
Jose? And it was knocked down, and it had been all these years. It had been sitting in a warehouse where we're nowhere to go.
Wow.
They couldn't put it back in the original site where it was at. So me being a member of the Harris County Historical Commission, I got wind of it. And I said, well, it would be really nice if we could move it to Magnolia because there's a school named after him and there's a park named after him.
Now, how do you know how to do this? What's your day job? Because
I'm actually an accountant for the city of Houston.
He works for the city.
Yeah, I work for public works.
we need more accountants.
Yeah, really. But what I do is totally different from this. This has nothing. This is just a passion that I've.
Pero al mismo tiempo, it takes someone who's educated, can be organized, and you know how numbers work, you know how words work, and it translates over to the community endeavors.
Exactly.
And I think, especially now, people will even be surprised that it's the 100th year anniversary of the Mexican Revolution in 1910, which changed the shape of America.
Exactly.
You got the Mayo brothers who archived it, Victor Villaseñor. We can't forget that we've been here that long. So it's fantastic that you're doing these endeavors.
And that's one of the things, trying to get attention to the Hispanic community. I mean, like I said, it was 12 years that Lorenzo de Zavala marker was put up when it was damaged.
And actually, hopefully, we might be really maybe starting something really good around the city for this, because the Harris County Historical Commission, they've noticed that there's a lack of Hispanic subjects for these markers.
Throughout the state.
Well, yeah, and throughout our county, really, Harris County.
Right.
There's just a lack of these markers that address Hispanic issues. And so now I think they're trying to get like a Hispanic advisory committee.
Yeah.
They're
so
having
we're looking
meetings.
for...
The one thing I'm going to throw in, though, I suspect it's Mexican-American issues. Where this is Mexican-American.
Right. Yes.
Not to exclude our brothers and sisters, but I think we need to kind of put the spin on it that
Mexican-American, right.
It's deeply Mexican-American rooted to kind of articulate it. We need our Puerto Rican, our Cubanos, our Costa Ricans to join with us.
Exactly.
But it is what it is.
Yes.
And then, so give us the date again. So October 6th, what's going to happen?
On October 6th at 10 o'clock in the morning at De Zavala Elementary. What's the address there? 7521 Avenue H?
Yes.
Okay, 7521.
I'm sure
they're going to dedicate the Lorenzo, or rededicate the Lorenzo de Zavala marker that we moved from Channelview to the school. Hopefully the Texas Army's going to be out there. They're going to fire some muskets and some cannons.
The Lorenzo de Zavala Masons will probably be out there.
Right, yeah, De Zavala, he was a Mason. And they're going to be out there too, hopefully. So it should be a nice event. And then at 6 o'clock that night for National Night Out at De Zavala Park, we're going to dedicate the Magnolia Park marker.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Why don't one of you read the marker, and then we'll have Mr. Delfino read his.
Well, basically, it's a song that he wrote.
First, go ahead and read the marker.
I'll read the marker. Originally developed as a sprawling excursion park by John Thomas Brady in 1890, Magnolia Park earned its name from its abundance of magnolia trees planted in the area. Starting in 1909, the Magnolia Park Land Company redeveloped the park into two residential subdivisions, Magnolia Park and Central Park, which were incorporated together in 1913. As the city of Magnolia Park, covering 2 square miles, the city was bordered on north and east by the Buffalo Bayou and the Chip Channel, on the south by the Brays Bayou, and west by the rail lines. Eventually, the city of Magnolia Park was annexed by the city of Houston in 1926. While the founders of Magnolia Park were European descent, persons of Mexican descent were dominated most of its history, making it one of the Houston's first Mexican-American communities. The area experienced dramatic growth in its Mexican-American population as Mexican citizens left their country to escape the turmoil of the Mexican revolutions of 1910. Magnolia Park's 2 Roman Catholic churches, Immaculate Conception, 1911, Immaculate Heart of Mary, 1925, have served Hispanic residents for over 80 years. The Zavala Elementary and Edison Junior High all predate 1926. Major community parks include Hidalgo Park, 1927, and De Zavala Park, 1945. Magnolia Park Post 472 of the American Legion was chartered in 1928. The community to serve the community. American Citizens LULAC, Houston's first, was formed there in 1934. Today, Magnolia continues as a thriving Hispanic community.
Amen. Who wrote that?
I actually prepared the narrative for that, and the way it works is it's like a research paper. And you got to justify, you got to argue.
For everybody taking 1302.
Yeah.
Still valid.
That's right, yeah. You got to justify the subject. In this case, I had to justify the community of Magnolia Park. And then once it goes up to the state, they're the ones who they get based on what you put in the narrative into the description here.
Very nice work. Some people are happy because their writing gets published in a literary journal that maybe 1,000 people read. You just made history.
Yeah.
Y también, from the soul of Magnolia, we have the debut of the song about Magnolia by Señor Delfino Pavo. Si nos asiste.
Esta canción se llama Magnolia. Dice: en la vista de los pinos, tengo casa, tengo amor, es el corazón de Houston, el primero, sí señor, este barrio de Magnolia, para mí que es el mejor, por aquí llegan los barcos que recorren la nación, este barrio de Magnolia es purito corazón, el que toma agua se queda, porque alegra el corazón. De aquí se ve la industria petrolera, es la riqueza de mi ciudad. También se ve el puente que atraviesa, se ve de arriba la hermosa ciudad espacial. La República le llaman, yo no sé por qué será porque aquí hay de todo, amor, fe y libertad. Este barrio de Magnolia es purito corazón, las muchachas son encanto, aman la felicidad. De aquí se ve la industria petrolera, es la riqueza de mi ciudad. También se ve el puente que atraviesa, se ve de arriba la hermosa ciudad espacial. Se ve de arriba la hermosa ciudad espacial. Pam, pararán, pam, pam, pam.
Aventó. Beautiful. Gracias por compartir con eso con nosotros y con todo Houston. Very nice. I love it. You can see the petrol industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love, faith, and liberty. That's fantastic. You guys are bringing out the soul of the neighborhood. I hope you're seeing that reception right and left, maybe. No? I mean...
Yeah. So we would like to see, we invite y'all to come out.
That sounds great.
And probably, to get your, get the word out and get your name out there.
We're reporting for duty. Okay. So, no. Okay. We'll start.
Maybe at the school, park.
That'd be fantastic. No.
Awesome.
So one last time, how can folks get a hold of you if they want to find out more about the event?
Okay, you can email me at jmoreno1909 mphp@yahoo.com.
Qué complicado, Sergio. J Moreno is your name.
Yeah. And then 1909.
Because that's the age of the neighborhood.
Yes.
And what are the last 3 letters?
MPHP, that's Magnolia Park Historical Preservation.
Oh, that's a group we formed to get these marketers going.
Magnolia
Park
Historical Preservation. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's
So,
easy.
like I said, it's a little abbreviation, like yahoo.com. And like I said, my cell, 281-727-8830.
¿Y usted es mariachi?
No.
No, pero tiene un don de poesía. ¿Dónde sacó ese don?
Soy compositor, tengo boleros, rancheras, cumbias, toda
We
clase.
gotta have him back con otras canciones.
He has a bunch.
So,
He has a bunch.
ojalá que nos asiste de nuevo con otra canción cuando tenga tiempo. Pero thank you so much, not just for coming, for the work that you're doing, and we're reporting 100% behind it. And thank you so much for archiving our impact in the community.
Well, thank you for having us. It's our pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Gracias, caballeros.
Right.
We'll be back.
Gracias.
You're